A couple more pieces, and so I want to say a personal note about my experience. I went to Spain twice. So first time I went as a total, I didn't know anything about Spanish or flamenco. And basically I went and I was learning with this British guy who was half Spanish, he spoke English, and he's like, well, you want to learn flamenco, right? And I was like, I don't know, because I had heard it in New York when I was visiting a friend, and it was amazing to me. He's like, oh, so you just want to learn some cool licks then? And I was like, basically, yeah, And I didn't learn Spanish, I didn't really make that many friends, and I was kind of I was working hard 2 hours a day on flamenco, and then 2-hour lessons with him, but I didn't really understand it. So then when before I came to USC, I had a hand surgery where I basically had an ulnar shortening, just basically I had ligament repair, and my bone was shortened. And as with tall people, sometimes their bones kind of are right against each other. So it was scary because my hand surgeon was like, maybe you should compose and not play. And I'm like, well, I can't compose if I'm not playing, Like I was like, no, no way. So basically, it was a pretty big surgery, and it was about 9 months of not being able to play without pain. And so I was swimming every day, stretching every day, and pretty depressed. And I actually had to take a year off between undergrad and master's because I was going to go to Berkeley, Valencia instead of here in Spain. And then I was like, I can't go, they're like, oh, no problem. And then I applied for USC. And I'll talk about USC actually before the last song, but I'm just going to keep to this story right now. So before, I had a year off because of my hand, and as it kind of healed up in November, I planned a trip to Spain because I realized I'm probably not going to go there because things were changing. And so I said, I'm going to go to Spain anyway for 3 months and study flamenco there. And I told this to my friends, like, are you nuts? You just had a hand surgery and you're going to go play the hardest music there is to play. What are you doing? And that was the reason I wanted to do it, was because I knew that if I wanted to play it safe, I could just, not really push my hand. But I thought, no, I'm gonna do this. And I lived in Granada, where Adam Del Monte, lived every summer as a child and studied in the caves. And I went to, Sacramonte and Albaicin and studied there in the school there. And every day I remember playing, and then stretching my hand on the wall like this. And I'm playing, and it was painful, And flamenco to me is kind of painful. It's like it's passionate, and it's not polite, it's not quiet necessarily. It can be, but it's also it's dirty and in your face. And I needed to do that for my hand, I feel like, But as I was preparing for this, playing 4 hours a day, and I was like stretching my hand on the wall, thinking back about Spain and how it's that challenge that actually pushed me to do it, So it's not about, oh, look at me. It's more about flamenco, to me, was the inspiration to actually fully heal and to get back into playing music. So I owe flamenco a debt of gratitude as well as Adam Del Monte. So actually, I won't say it before the next. I'll say it now. I want to talk about Adam. I'm on a roll, right? There was an amazing twist of fate that happened. I was at Sonoma State University for my undergrad, and I was, doing jazz and classical at the same time. And my teacher Eric Cavallo was like, "Oh yeah, we got Bill Canengeiser's coming," and I'm like, "Oh cool." I really wasn't that into classical, so I was like, "Oh cool," And Eric knew that I was into jazz and flamenco, but I was doing classical because that was what was there. So then, unfortunately, Bill Canengeiser cut his finger cutting an avocado. He's fine, now. It was a temporary setback, but he couldn't come. So then Eric was kind of upset for a day. Oh, he's not coming. And then so Bill got Adam Del Monte to come. And then Eric knew how excited I would be, because he knew that the only reason I'm even doing classical is because of flamenco. So he's like, Adam Del Monte's coming. I'm like, oh my God. And Eric had been whispering in my ear, like, you should go to USC, because the studio guitar is kind of your thing. So I'm like, okay. And then, so Adam came as a sub, you know, and he played this brilliant, amazing concert just solo for like an hour and a half, you know, and it was just some of the most beautiful music I'd ever heard. And then the chair of the music department kind of knew how excited he was, so he invited Adam over to his house, and then I got a chance to meet Adam and really talk to him, and he was like, yeah, come to USC, you know, he's like, you know, well, if you want to study flamenco, let's do this, you know? And he was just the nicest guy about it, and I was so inspired that night. And, you know, that was forefront of my mind when I chose USC. And, you know, I've told Adam that the reason I came to USC is because of him, you know. And a lot of people come because of the other big names like Bruce Foreman or Frank Potenza, all the other people. And I love studying with them. But for me, it was Adam Del Monte that really did it for me. And so I've studied with him for 5 years, every semester, and it's just, you know, it's just been everything I'd hoped for and more. So thank you so much, Adam. Story time's over. Okay, and this next piece is called Mezquita, and this is another transcription like the Habichuela, and this is a song Vicente Amigo wrote that was inspired by La Mezquita, which is a mosque or a cathedral. Beautiful, beautiful designs, incredible. So, and he's from Cordoba. So I went there with my dad when we were traveling a little bit through there, and like the city is beautiful, and it's like a maze, a labyrinth of streets. And you know, southern Spain is full of all these wonderful